Numb? Where is he from? What role does he play in the Star Wars universe? Where can I find him? And why do I care enough to want his pop?
I hope to answer all that and more in today's episode of Pop Quiz, Nien Numb edition. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Pop Quiz. Our pop-up for review today is everybody's favorite Solistan, Nien Numb. But before I jump into the character himself, I'm going to turn it over to my pop hunting cohort Snap to give you the rundown on the pops that inspired today's episode.
Thank you, my brother. Basically, what we have here today is two different variants of the character Nien Numb, numbers 82 and 88, both from the Force Awakens series, I believe series 2, I want to say. But yeah, basically the only major difference is the head. The bodies are exactly the same as far as what the outfit he has on and shape. Now the helmet adds a lot of detail to the head, which I already felt like the original pop had plenty of detail in the face with this type of, like, I don't know, what's it, like a gill. type of skin texture. But the helmet is actually very detailed. It has the Rebel sign on the side. Chris was telling me Galactic Basic is the language.
Yeah, the language.
It has something written on the back of the helmet here, which I unfortunately do not know what it says. If anybody out there knows what it says, go ahead and comment.
Even I don't know that.
Yeah, I found something.
I know what Galactic Basic is, I just don't know how to read it.
Yeah. Now, as far as the rest of the helmet, it has the separate visor piece that's tinted a little yellow to look a little more authentic. It's actually really well done.
It's nice.
Yeah, you can kind of see where we got caught kind of like in the transitional phase for Funko Pops, where they were starting to branch out a little bit from just the basic round head. You can tell that by his face that they actually carved that out and stuff. But as far as this one, if you look at the artwork on the box, which is also really well done, Funko usually does a really great job doing everything as far as that. You can display it several different ways if you're an inboxer. Now, in the artwork, it has the helmet coming up around the high cheekbone area, and then it has kind of like the gills coming out underneath. Now, in the actual pop, the helmet kind of gently goes into the gill. Yeah. And I feel like today times, Funko would have killed it, and it would have looked really good. Just kind of not really a bashing of Funko now, then just more of like a thumbs up to Funko now.
Yeah, for progressing.
You can definitely see progression, and hopefully in the future maybe we'll get another Nien Numb pop. For whatever reason, I don't know if there would be one, but
might be able to give you a few.
Well, there you go. Like I said, other than the helmet, it's basically the same pop, but the helmet adds a lot of just an extra little character to it, especially if you've seen The Force Awakens. The first character doesn't change very much from his first scene in was it Return of the Jedi?
Yes, he's in Return of the Jedi was his first movie appearance.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it looks the same as that one. But as far as The Force Awakens, when he's flying the X-wing, it actually captures a really cool scene in the movie. And as far as the only thing I would change on the box artwork is all Star Wars, they have the Star Wars going across the front here, but they actually have the Force Awakens logo up top here, which they usually don't do. Which it's cool and all, but I would have liked to see this logo directly in front of the box here.
Similar to what the Rebels box is.
Exactly, yeah.
It displays the Rebels right on the front of the box.
Exactly. So maybe, in the coming in the coming year, we'll have a nice little red Last Jedi logo on the front of the box.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So as far as information on the pop goes, the regular one, not hard to get at all. We think we saw it in a couple of discount racks at Hot Topic.
Yep.
And I believe I saw one at Walmart, but you know how Walmart goes. We had the GameStop exclusive that we just saw, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, we saw one at GameStop.
On clearance at GameStop. So, and this is a pop that's been out for over a year. That came out when the Force Awakens line came out. So, hopefully we can draw your attention to the character if you don't know much about him already. And if you, after watching this video, you feel like it's one that you didn't add to the collection, two that shouldn't be very hard to add if you want to.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that information. But now that you've let them know about the pops themselves, it's going to be my job to let them know about the character and hopefully spark their interest in wanting to get one of these bad boys for themselves. So let's start with the basics. Nien is a Solistan from the planet Solist. Many of his appearances in the Star Wars universe outside of the movies take place on or around his home planet. He started out as a pilot flying a freighter for a corporation on Sullust, but after they began collaborating with the Empire, Nien lost respect for them and began stealing their supplies and selling them to the rebellion. Eventually, he'd break out on his own and acquire a ship he called the Mailcrawler. That was when his career as a weapons smuggler really started to take off. And as a side note, talking about could we see more Nien, the Han Solo movie's been announced. Knowing that it's going to be about a famous smuggler, Han Solo, and now knowing that Nien is a former smuggler, what would you think if we saw Nien in the Han Solo movie?
I mean, I would definitely be a fan of it. I did not know he had a smuggler's background, and knowing that, I was already looking forward to the Han Solo movie with Woody Harrelson being announced, and Childish Gambino, we talked about Lando. So I think it'd be a nice little character to throw in there. One that you don't need to throw a lot of story into, but you just gotta see his face. And he's
maybe
like,
hanging out at a canteen or something they go into. So definitely I'd like to see that. Now that we've mostly got his origin out of the way, let's start diving into the good stuff. In Marvel comic Princess Leia issue 4, we see Nien make the leap from just a smuggler to a full-blown rebel as he helps Leia smuggle a group of people from the recently destroyed planet of Alderaan off of Sullust past the Empire that is hunting them. Nien runs various missions for the rebels after that as he remains part of the Rebel Alliance. His next major role, though, in the overall story comes from the pages of Moving Target, a Princess Leia story. In the weeks leading up to the assault on the second Death Star, the rebel fleet is gathering near Sullust. In order to draw the Empire's attention away from the fleet's movements, Leia devises a plan referred to simply as Yellow Moon. To carry out her plan, she must take a band of rebels to plant transmitters that will send out a false broadcast suggesting rebel activity on the Yellow Moon near the gas giant planet of Galan in the Corva sector. To do this quickly and safely, they would need to get in and out without drawing much attention to themselves, and who better for that job than Nien Numb? He accepts the task and drops them off on Bastille, a planet that their first transceiver will be planted on. In the meantime, Nien goes off on his own to recon the local area. During the mission, though, things go awry, and Nien has to swoop in for a quick evac of Leia and the others to escape. Nien proceeded to take them to their next stop on Cecil. There, they planted another transceiver, and once again, the plan is disrupted when the Empire shows up. Nien is able to give the Empire the slip and evades the Star Destroyer Shield Maiden as it is distracted by the launching of several escape pods. The next stop is Duresh. Here, the situation once again repeats itself as we see the full focus of the Shield Maiden falling on the Mailcrawler. Here we get a perfect example of Nien's piloting skills as he dives under a transport, causing the Star Destroyer's tractor beam to grab onto the transport instead of the Mailcrawler. This allows Nien to make an escape once again. After so many close calls, you think they'd head back to safety, but instead, they go to warn their allies of the Empire's possible arrival, as they feel responsible for leading them there in the first place. Unfortunately, Shield Maiden returns, and this time Nien is unable to avoid being taken captive along with Leia and the other rebels. While a prisoner on board the Shield Maiden, Nien is able to get out of his cell when an EMP goes off, disabling part of their ship. He leads the others to a hangar and hijacks a familiar Imperial shuttle, the Tiberium. We'll get to that in a second. Unfortunately for Nien, his ship, the Mailcrawler, is sacrificed to assist in the escape. As they exit the Star Destroyer, they learn their allies they had decided to come back and warn had returned and attacked the Star Destroyer from the outside as well. They are all able to safely make the jump to light speed and escape as the Shield Maiden is destroyed. With her mission a success, Leia returns and learns that Lando has found where the Hutts are keeping Han. While the main players go on their rescue mission that we see in the beginning of Episode 6, Nien is left to figure out what to do now that his ship has been destroyed. After Han is rescued, the final prep for the Battle of Endor is made. Lando offers Nien the co-pilot seat on the Millennium Falcon since the Mailcrawler has been destroyed. The Rebels' plan is for Han Solo to take a shuttle that Nien stole, the Tiberium, and land on the planet moon of Endor. There, he'll take down the shield to the Death Star so the fleet can swoop in and destroy it, hopefully with the Emperor still on board. Nien has his doubts about Han being able to get the shield generator down, but Lando assures him that his old friend will get the job done. Unfortunately, despite Lando's confidence in Han, they and the rest of the fleet drop out of lightspeed to find the ships protecting the Death Star are still up. Now we are deep into the Return of the Jedi and the events of the Battle of Endor. The fleet realizes too late that they've stumbled into a trap laid by the Emperor.
It's a trap!
With the Death Star being fully operational, they have no choice but to engage the Empire in combat at point-blank range. Nien and the fleet fight bravely in hopes that Han can still pull through and get the shield down. Lando's faith in Han pays off as his team on the ground finally deactivates the shield. Lando tells Nien that he told him so, and Nien nods in agreement. With the shield down, Nien and Lando lead an assault deep into the heart of the Death Star, where they're able to fire the shot that will trigger a chain of explosions that will lead to the destruction of the Emperor's superweapon. There's no time to celebrate, though, as they still have to masterfully navigate their way out of the Death Star with a giant fireball hot on their tail, escaping just in time as the entire space station explodes. Lando lets out a cheer, and Nien gives us his signature chuckle. Shortly after the Battle of Endor, Nien is back in action again on his new ship, the Mailcrawler 2. He was involved in stopping Operation Cinder, a plot to make several planets, including Naboo, uninhabitable by disrupting their climates. Later on, in the book Bloodline, Leia is revealed to be Darth Vader's daughter. Regardless, Nien sends a message to show his support and respect for her as one of his dear friends. He is also present along with several other veterans of the Rebel Alliance when Leia forms the Resistance as we see it in The Force Awakens. About 9 years go by between then and the start of Episode 7. We see that Nien is still around as he flies into battle piloting an X-Wing alongside Poe Dameron when they attack the First Order and their Star Killer base. While several Resistance pilots died in the attack, we see that Nien was on one of several pilots that made it back. So keep an eye out for him, as we still may get more Nien Numb in Star Wars The Last Jedi later this year. Also, leaving a chance for yet another Nien Numb pop.
We welcome it.
And that about brings us up to date. I hope you learned a lot about the character. I hope this really drives you to go out and get a Nien Numb, as he's a pretty vital character to the Star Wars lore and history. What do you think, Seth?
I definitely, just aesthetically, I already like the pop. I have it because I liked it, and I liked the small cameos in the movie. I did not know he went so diverse, deep into the realm, and this story being so intertwined with Han Solo and actually saving Princess Leia, it sounds like a couple times. It seems like a very vital key to the story, and I definitely welcome future Numb pops and maybe a ride, maybe.
Yeah, that would be kind of maybe the Mailcrawler or maybe him in an X-Wing.
That would be really cool. I would take that. I know that if we ever got a Death Star, it would probably be Chewie and Han.
Yeah, or a Millennium Falcon.
a Millennium Falcon, but I would definitely...
a Death Star pop would be ridiculous. It'd have to be like 18 inches.
Well, look at the Wonder Woman one.
Yeah,
it'd be similar in size, I feel like, box-wise. I think it's definitely doable.
You got to get a little Emperor pop sitting in the little window looking out, watching the back. Well, anyway, that's going to be all for now. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed our show, please remember to like, subscribe, leave comments. Don't forget, you can also always email us at atatisw@gmail.com. Anything else, Nat?
No, other than that, just remember we're trying to get the 200 subs so we can get that giveaway going.
Yep, giveaway at 200 subs.
Yeah, we started shooting around what we'd like to give away. We talked about Walgreens exclusive.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe doing a proto boba if we can find another one. I only have the one, so that would be a good one.
We'll keep an eye out. If you have anything in mind, something that wouldn't be too crazy to come across, that maybe is not in your area, you want to shoot something down there for an idea.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to be all for today. Until the next time, may the Force be with you.